Okay. I want to start out by saying that when we're trying to get somebody to make a decision to buy something, what does that person need? What do you need in order to make a decision to buy something today? What do we need? And I'm sure a lot of you are typing in right now, we need to feel certain. We need to feel like what we're doing is the right thing. We're certain about what we're doing, right? And what I find a lot is that we know that we need to instill this certainty into the customer, yet we're not doing that. We're getting to the end of the call and the customer's saying things like, well, I need to think about this. You know, I need to talk to my wife about this. I need to talk to my children about this. And that's simply because the customer hasn't become certain about making this decision. We did not instill or speak enough certainty into the customer for them to make that decision today without the help of anybody else, okay? Now, why do people not make decisions? Why are people not certain? And I'm going to tell you, it's one thing. It's one thing. And if you want to write this down, you can write it down, but it's very simple to remember. The reason why people don't make decisions is because of fear. It's the fear of making a bad decision. It's the fear of overextending themselves. It's the fear of not knowing if you're legit. It's the fear of all of these different things. It's fear. Fear is what holds people back from being certain. It's fear and doubt. So if we know that people are fearful of these things, the fear of spending money, the fear of not knowing who they're talking to, the fear of getting scammed, the fear of all of these things, then we have to speak certainty into the customer throughout the process as we're going through the process. Are you all following me so far? Is this making sense? All right? So we got that all out of the way. Let's look at the definition of decision, okay, before we move forward here. Decision. It's a conclusion or a resolution reached after consideration. Okay? It's the action or process of deciding something or of resolving a question. And lastly, it's a formal judgment. Okay? So a decision is a conclusion or a resolution reached after consideration. So after we take them through this process, after they consider everything that we say and everything that we do, they make a conclusion or a decision to buy. They take action in deciding to resolve the issue that they have of lacking coverage, not enough coverage, or no coverage. They make a decision to buy. Okay? Let's look at the definition of certainty. Okay? Certainty is a firm conviction that something is the case. She knew with absolute certainty that they were dead. Certainty, confidence, conviction, assurance. Okay? Certainty, the quality of being reliably true. A fact that is definitely true or an event that is definitely going to take place. Okay? A person or a thing that may be relied on. So let's talk about how we can speak certainty into our process. Okay? You guys are all reading the same script. You're all going through the same process, but some of us are instilling certainty in our customers more than others. And I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to move into the implementation of this today, and we're going to continue it tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to give you specific word tracks and specific scripting on how to insert certainty into our sales process. But today I'm just going to speak off the tongue. I'm just going to speak off the head. And we're going to talk about how we can start to instill certainty into our customers early on in the process, when we get into the fact find, when we get into our warm-up, when we get into the health section. Okay, I want to talk about how we're going to start to instill certainty and speak decision into our customers, where they're making the decision to work with you and to buy insurance from you well before you ever ask for which option they want to move forward with. Well before you quote them, they've already made a decision to buy from you. You've already instilled the certainty in them to make that decision today. So let's talk about, how do we do that? What things can we say to our customers moving forward when we get into the warm-up, when we get into the health section, when we're in the needs section? How can we instill this certainty into our customers? So we're in the warm-up section, okay? You can't instill certainty into a person unless you have a relationship with them. Okay, this is just a given. Okay, you're not going to instill any certainty in anybody or any decision in anybody unless they like you and unless you have a relationship with them and they begin to trust you. So if you're struggling with the warm-up and getting into a warm-up, it's going to be very difficult to instill certainty in them. So we get that out of the way. You're not going to instill a whole lot of certainty in anybody unless you're warmed up to them. So we got to warm up. But once we're warmed up with the customer and we've spent 5 to 10 minutes talking about our lives and their lives and really getting to know our customers, not just fact-finding, but sharing a story about yourself, learning about them, okay? Really getting them to warm up with you, and you're about to transition out of the warm-up, out of the fact-find, we want to say something that's going to instill certainty and decision into our customers' brains. We need to get them to start agreeing with us that they've made a decision to protect their family right now, that they're certain that they want to protect their family right now. We have to start that process right now. So I'm talking about the warm-up right now and transitioning out of the warm-up into the health. Okay? This is not scripted. This is not scripted, but you need to write in your script somewhere, I need to insert certainty and decision in the transition. So you're going to transition and you're going to use what the customer has given you in the warm-up to praise them up and then instill certainty in them. So it's going to sound something like this. And I'm going to talk as if I'm talking to Ramiz. Let's just say I'm talking to Ramiz, and he's given me all kinds of information about his wife, how he's been newly married, and how they're trying to have children and a family, and they're looking to buy a new home, all these things, right? I'm gonna share all that information back, and then I'm gonna instill some certainty and decision into his mind. And this is how something like that would sound. Well, Ramiz, thank you for sharing all of that information with me. You remind me a lot of myself. I've been married now for 10 years, so I'm a little bit ahead of you. But I just want to congratulate you on your marriage and your beautiful wife, Rachel. It sounds like you guys have an awesome thing going, and it's just exciting that you're looking to buy a new home and start a family. And boy, Ramiz, I can see why we're talking today and why you made the decision to give us a call and speak with me. And I feel honored that I'm the one that's going to be able to help you make that decision. And I know that you certainly want to protect your wife. I know that just by how you talk about her and by everything that you've stated to me. And I'm certain that if we're able to get you qualified, I'm absolutely certain that this is something that you want to do to make sure that your wife will never be burdened with your final expenses. And again, I just want to thank you for making the decision today to protect your wife. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that we get you something in place today, okay? Now, do you see I'm speaking with certainty? I'm speaking with decision. I may even ask Ramiz to say, Ramiz, tell me, why did you make the decision to finally get something in place for your wife? Why did you make the decision to call today? What prompted you? So I have this relationship already with him. Remember, I'm not just coming off the cuff right as I get into the fact find and asking this question. I've already warmed up to him. I've got a relationship with him, so I can ask a question like this. What made you make the decision to finally get this taken care of today? Boy, Ramiz, I can certainly see why this is important to you. Tell me, Ramiz, in your own words, why is this so important to you? Get them to start speaking decision. Get them to start telling you why they made the decision, why they feel certain about getting coverage in place for their wife or their husband or their children or whoever it is. You have to start down this road early in the process. Is everybody following me here? Are you seeing why this is so important to get them to start telling you with their own words why this is important? To start telling you why they made the decision. Now, before I move forward, I wanna preface one thing, okay? In order to get somebody to start telling you this kind of stuff, you have to lead with praise. You have to lead with empathy. You have to make the person feel good in order for them to tell you these things. So you lead with praise. Always lead with praise and empathy towards their case. Again, Ramiz, man, I know that this is so important to you, and I'm just blown away by how much you love your wife and everything that you're willing to do for her. It just shows what an awesome dude you are and how awesome you are for your wife, and the fact that you are just doing the things that you're doing. And boy, oh boy, tell me, Ramiz, what made you call in today? What made you finally make the decision to get this done today? Do you see how I'm leading with praise? When I lead with praise, it makes him feel good, and then he wants to pat himself on the back and tell me why he wants to do it, why he made the decision. Okay? So this is important stuff, but you just can't do it here. Like, doing it one time is not enough. You got to continue to do it all the way through the process. So now we're moving into the medical section. Now we're moving into the medical section, and we're saying things like, we're asking all these health questions. let's say they come up and they have diabetes or some form of a medical condition. Well, now we're going to take the opportunity to maybe show some empathy around their medical condition, and we're going to make their medical condition stand out. We're going to say things, wow, okay, diabetes. Okay, how long have you been dealing with the diabetes, Ramiz? Okay, you've been dealing with that for 5 years. Wow, okay. Boy, that's diabetes is a very serious illness. I mean, how did you come to find out that you had it? Okay, good. And you're going to probe around that question, and then you're going to say, again, Ramiz, I'm glad that we're talking today because, as you know, and I'm glad you're taking care of yourself and you've got it under control, but as you know, diabetes is one of those very serious illnesses that when combined with other illnesses like high blood pressure and some of the other illnesses that are out there like cholesterol and boy, oh boy, it can really, really cause a red flag with insurance. And I'm pretty certain that that's why you're getting this done now. You don't want to be in a situation down the road where you have an additional health complication and now you're in a position where you can't get coverage. Is that why you made the decision today to finally get some coverage in place? Do you see how I'm speaking decision into this customer? I'm talking the word decision. Is that why you made the decision to get this done today? I'm certain that that's one of the main contributing factors. You know that we're not getting any younger, and health conditions can pop up on us anytime, just like this diabetes did with you 5 years ago. And I'm certain, Ramiz, that that's why you want to get this taken care of today, isn't it? Do you see how I'm speaking the certainty, the decision into the customer, and they're telling me over and over and over why they want to make the decision to get this in place today? Okay, so you're talking to the customer, and you might be in the needs section now. And now you're telling them a story. Like if I were telling a story about my mother and how she passed away, I would say something like this. I would say, and when my mother passed away, she took out insurance 2 years prior to her passing away. She was perfectly healthy, not anything wrong with her. She was chasing my 2 little boys, Giovanni and Rocco, around, watching them full time for my wife and I as we worked. And my mother asked me to put some insurance on her, and I did that. And when she passed away, it was unexpected. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was like out of the blue. And a year later, she was gone. And, Ramiz, I know that the same thing happened with you with the diabetes. Here you are, young guy, running around, working hard, looking for your beautiful wife, got a great life, everything's going good, and then boom, you get diagnosed with diabetes. And that's a scary thing. I mean, something similar to me happened. I was diagnosed with gluten intolerance, but before me, I had all kinds of things like ulcerative colitis. It was scary to get diagnosed with conditions like that. I know what you're going through. I know what goes through somebody's mind. And I'm certain, because I went through it myself, when that happened, I said, boy, I better have some life insurance. I better make sure that I protect my family. And I know that that's why we're talking, Ramiz. Okay, good. Well, Ramiz, I know, listen to the words I'm using. I know, that's certain. That's not like I think. It's I know, I'm speaking certainty into this person, Ramiz, that if we're able to get you approved, that this is something you want to get done for your wife, Rachel. I know that. And I'm here to help you, okay? But I can't do anything unless we can get you approved. And that's what I'm working on. But Ramiz, if I'm able to get you approved for the coverage today, we are certainly going to get this taken care of. I know the only thing that's going to be holding is that we need to make sure that we find something that's absolutely affordable and that fits your needs. But assuming we can get you approved and we can find you something affordable, we're going to get this done for you today, okay? Now I'm going to get his commitment here. I'm going to get him to say yes. And he will say yes 99% of the time. If I speak with that level of certainty, if I speak with that level of conviction, if I speak that decision into him, he's going to say yes. And when he does say yes, it's not going to be at the end where he's telling me he needs to think about it and talk to somebody else. It's going to be either he can afford it or he can't afford it. And it's just going to be a matter of building value to make sure that he sees the value so he parts way with his money at the end. Is this making sense to you guys? It's super important that you're doing these things throughout the process. Otherwise, you're going to be getting to the end and the customer's going to be telling you all kinds of nonsense. I got to talk to so-and-so. I'm not really sure. I don't know. You know, I'm not sure. I got to talk to my son. What in the world do you got to talk to your son for? I'm going to tell you. They got to talk to their son because you didn't do these things. You didn't instill the certainty in them. You didn't get them to before quoting them. That's all I have for you right now, guys. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep repeating myself over and over again because this is so simple. When you start to understand the fundamental behind this and you start to do this, it becomes so simple. And there's no objections. It's just finding something affordable for the customer. It's just about making sure that we build the value because they've already committed. They've already said, yes, I want to do this today. Yes, I need the coverage. Yes, I made the decision. Yes, I'm certain that I need this. Okay, they've already told you that 16 times if you do it right. So it's not like deciding if they want it or if they don't want it. They want it. They're certain of it. You spoke that decision in them. They told you over and over and over again that they want it. And now it's just a matter of building value and finding something affordable for them.